Good evening. Oh, yeah. Good evening. I would like to recall to order the regular board meeting of September 24, 2013. We will now have a pledge of allegiance, but first, let me say this. We have a large body tonight, and if it becomes too crowded, we have a room on the first. No, we don't have the room.
Never mind.
Okay. Anyway, we will go to the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's see, Mr. Sarr, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on our agenda is a student life report from Scottsdale Community College's Student Leadership Forum. Ms. Therese Tendick.
Good evening, President Burke, members of the board, Dr. Glasper, members of CEC and guests. My name is Therese Tendick. I'm the director of Scottsdale Community College's Center for Civic and Global Engagement. I'm here with Assistant Director Jen Cito and members of the Student Leadership Forum, or SLF. Our center also oversees the many clubs that we offer, leadership retreats and training, international student services, and the Department of State grant, which brings international students to our campus, civil discourse and civic engagement events, internationalization of the curriculum, and more. Why do students join SLF and clubs? Yes, they do want to get to know other students, not just going back and forth from the parking lot to their class, but they also want to learn how to make their world a better place, both locally and globally. And so now for a little bit about how we do that at SCC, I'd like to introduce our SLF chair, Teresa Sweeney. She'd like to let you know a few things about some things that are going on, some upcoming student activities at SCC. And I do want to thank you for all of your programming and all of your support to Maricopa colleges, helping students become more civically engaged and more globally aware. Thank you. Teresa?
President Burke, members of the board, Dr. Glasper, members of the CEC and guests. My name is Teresa Sweeney, chair of the Student Leadership Forum at Scottsdale Community College. I wanted to give you a preview of some of the events we have planned for this year. This year, a few of the positions in the Student Leadership Forum have changed. The vice chair will be overseeing global awareness. As chair, I will now be overseeing civic engagement. However, the goals of the Student Leadership Forum will continue to be learning about leadership, community service, and engaging students. In order to learn more about leadership, we will be participating in civil dialogues, the Arizona Deliberates Forum, the Democracy Commitment activities, Hunger Awareness, and International Education Week. In order to further our knowledge of community service, we will be participating in events such as the AIDS Walk and possibly fundraising for Dee's Angels, which helps provide local impoverished children with Christmas presents. We will continue to get students at SCC involved. Our next event will be Homecoming, which will be coming up right around the corner. In addition to these events, the Student Leadership Forum will be revising and ratifying the Constitution, which hasn't been ratified since 2009. As you can see, we have a very busy, exciting year ahead of us. We invite all of you to join us in our events on campus, and thank you for supporting us and the other students at SCC. Now I'd like to turn it over to SCC's Student Leadership Forum to introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Michelle Sasanoff. I'm vice chair, and I've been attending Scottsdale Community College for 4 semesters. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lisa Romo. This is my first year at SEC, and I am the special events co-manager.
Hello, my name is Juliana Fernandez. I am a special co-events manager, and this is my first semester at SEC.
Hello, my name is Karina Cabrera. I am public relations co-manager at SCC, and this is also my first semester. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maya Frick-Tandler. I'm a public relations co-manager, and I've been at SEC for 4 semesters. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gilbert Rubio, and I'm already the mascot on campus, and it's my first semester. Go Artichokes.
Hi, my name is Paul, and I serve as the student at large, and this is my first semester. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chris Simmons, and I'm a student at large at SEC, and it's my 3rd semester.
Hi, my name is Michael Melgar. I'm a student at large, and this is my 3rd semester at Scottsdale Community College.
Hi, my name is Zainab. This is my 1st semester, and I'm a student at large. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Isabella Hibbs, and this is my 4th semester, and I'm a student at large.
Good evening. My name is Ferawanti. I am a student at large, and this is my 1st semester at SEC. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ann Borges, and I am a student at large, and this is my 1st semester at SEC.
Hi, I'm Kamal Shurbini. I'm a student at large, and this is my 1st semester at SCC.
Hello, my name is Nick, and I'm a student at large, and this is my 3rd semester at SCC.
So again, thank you very much. Thank you for all your support. That's SEC. Go Chokes!
I want to thank the students for the emphasis on civic and global engagement. That is one of the 4 N's or goals of this governing board. And one of our hopes is that students will go through our colleges and assume responsibility in the community. So we appreciate that emphasis. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda will be Emeritus Awards. The first is from Chandler Gilbert Community College, Dr. Linda Lujan.
Our honoree is not with us this evening.
Okay.
I'll take it to her.
All right. The next is from Estrella Mountain Community College, Dr. Ernie Laura.
President Burke, members of the board, Dr. Glasper, members of CEC, and guests. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Dr. Clay Goodman from Estrella Mountain, Vice President of Occupational Education, who will present the Emeritus Award to Mr. Eddie Zuliger.
Thank you. President Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, members of CEC, and guests. It's my honor and privilege to award Mr. Eddie Zuliger with the Faculty Emeritus distinction. Now, a few facts about Mr. Zuliger. Eddie began teaching part-time at Estrella Mountain Community College in 1990. Dr. Sali was integral in his hire. Also serving as a program coordinator for Administration of Justice Studies, became a full-time residential faculty member in 2001, and Administration of Justice Program Director in 2009. Thanks to Mr. Zuliger's leadership, the Estrella Mountain AJS program has an outstanding reputation at the college, in the community, and at state universities. Mr. Zuliger received a 2009 NISOT Award for Excellence in Education and recognized by his peers at the college, and awarded for advancing the vision and innovation of teaching and learning. Mr. Zuliger was also officially recognized by Phi Beta Kappa International Honor Society as a student mentor. Mr. Zuliger has had an impact across the campus, both inside and outside of the classroom. And as an infantry officer in Vietnam, he's a decorated combat veteran and has made connection with our combat vets returning from Afghanistan and Iraq. Mr. Zuliger founded the AJS Club in 2010. The club gives students firsthand experience in observing law enforcement professionals in action. He was integral in developing the college's forensics program in 2008, where students learn a certificate in evidence technology. He was also integral in founding the AJS internship program, and we place students with both local, state, and federal agencies. And last, Mr. Zuliger was instrumental in founding the AJS Study Hall, working with students to be successful not only in their curriculum in criminal justice, but throughout their entire program and on into their professional lives. So please join me in welcoming Eddie to the podium.
Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to do these awards, and the audience needs to know that we don't get these every board meeting. These are outstanding faculty, and their colleges are recognizing great service to the college. So we appreciate what you've done. The next is Mesa Community College. Do you have a comment?
No, it's in.
The next is Mesa Community College, Dr. Shoan Pan.
President Doyle Berg, may I approach the podium, please?
Please.
President Berg, you're absolutely right. We, as a district, truly fortunate, blessed with many outstanding faculty. For distinguished professor or professor of distinction, none other is more deserving than the next honoree. I've been at Mesa Community College for a little bit over 5 years. During the past 5 years, I get to observe, admire her dedication to the institution, to the district, more importantly, to the thousands of students we serve, she has touched. She joined Mesa Community College in early 1980 as a OYO, become a residential faculty a few years later. For the 40+ years, she truly made significant impact in the lives of thousands of students in many ways, not only in the classroom, but beyond the classroom. Let me just quote one student who is an honor student that recently have left Mesa Community College, had this to say about this honoree. It's Dr. Betsy Hertzler. She's an amazing teacher. Her classroom atmosphere was casual, yet I learned more in one semester than all 4 years I did in my high school. She doesn't pound history into my head. She makes us connect history. There's nothing more profound than what this student wrote. Dr. Betsy Hertzler is not just a professor, a faculty member. She's a leader in our community, in our district. She served the district at Mesa Community College in many ways. Served as faculty senate president, as a counselor, professor of history. She has a large following, student following at Mesa Community College, honor students. She served as an honors program coordinator for many years, served as a state leader. Go to any state university, you say, I know Betsy Hertzler. Most faculty professors know her because she sent literally hundreds of them, the best of Maricopa community colleges, to the state universities. We had a lot of personal conversation about teaching, learning, student success. I know firsthand her heart. She's an individual, an expert faculty who has a big heart for students. So may I recommend her to you for confer her this title of Professor of Distinction. Dr. Hertzler, please join me. Thank you for your years of service.
I feel somewhat as though I'm at my memorial service. I see a colleague up there as president of the governing board, a former colleague, Dr. Burke. Doyle Burke, it's nice to see you. Members of the governing board, Dr. Glasper, former colleague. I see other former colleagues sitting here, and it's delightful to see you. But I'm most impressed by the students, and that's why I thank you for your continued support of the community college movement, specifically Maricopa, because I was able to be on both sides of the house. Student services as a counselor, academics as a history professor. Wow. And it's thanks to you that we're able to do the support that's necessary to keep the students successful in the classroom. I thank you so much.
And Dr. Pan has another award to present, a Drowning Prevention Award.
President Doyle Berg, members of the governing board, Chancellor Glasper, CC colleagues, and guests. We all live in desert, but unfortunately, we experience deaths and injuries from drowning, and this happens continuously. I was looking just today for the 9 months from January 2013 to September 2013, the 9 months, in Maricopa County alone, there were 38 deaths, including 9 children resulted from 122 water-related incidents. So you can imagine the scale for the whole state will be much bigger. Fortunately, there's a community-based organization comprised of parents, health safety professionals, business leaders, educators, have come together to address this major issue. This organization is the Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona. It exists to provide a forum to prevent drowning and non-fatal drownings through the promotion of education, legislative action, and enhanced public safety. Our district, Maricopa County Community College District, have been an active participant in the community initiative. Tonight, the president of this coalition has joined us. Would like to present a plaque to MCCCD. Dr. Glasper, please join us. Before we introduce our guests, I would like to ask Carol X to the podium. Carol serves as the Dean of Instruction at Mesa Community College. She has been a tireless champion for drowning prevention and awareness. She herself has a personal story that truly drives home the importance of public awareness and community involvement. Carol?
Thank you very much. President Burke, governing board members, college presidents, guests, Dr. Glasper, please come on. Some of you know that in May of 1998, my grandson became a drowning victim. And shortly after that, my daughter and I said, we have to make something positive come from his death. So my colleagues at the college, at Mesa Community College, joined me, and we created what has now become Water Watchers at Phoenix Children's Hospital. And what I want to do publicly is thank you, college presidents, for opening your arms to us and having the passion for drowning prevention and awareness that we have. We have, for the past 14 years, educated more than 10,000 first graders. Every March, we go to a college and we say, would you please let us bring Water Safety Day to your campus this year? And we bring 1,200 first graders from the Valley. We have over 400 community volunteers that come, the fire departments. It is a tremendous community effort, but it wouldn't work if it weren't for you having the passion that we have. So thank you publicly for letting us come to your campus. And I want to introduce Lori, who is the president of the Drowning Prevention Coalition. Lori.
Hello, thank you for allowing us to take a few minutes of tonight's meeting to recognize what you guys have been supporting for all of these years. The Drowning Prevention Coalition of Arizona has been around for 24 years. We started because of the number of tragedies that we were suffering in the Maricopa County area as well as statewide. We now recognize too that it's not just children who drowned. If you notice the number, we've had 9 drownings. 3 times as many adults have drowned. So I'd like everyone in the room to remember that you can drown too. We're going in alone, we're going in impaired, we're going into our lakes without life vests on. Just because the law says you don't have to wear it doesn't mean that you shouldn't wear it. And I just appreciate the opportunity to recognize your efforts in this preventable injury and help us make a difference in our state. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both. This is a wonderful program. We appreciate your dedication and appreciate your taking the program to each of the colleges. Thank you. Now, I scanned the agenda quickly, and I don't see a group being recognized, but we have a group of students tonight that I would like for everyone to meet. We have a public policy program, and we have students from 8 different colleges who are enrolled this year, and they are here on the front row. Would you stand? These, they will spend the year studying public programs. They will meet with state legislators, Congress people, with government agencies. Each of them will choose a project to study and do a presentation at the end of the year. It's a wonderful program that supports one of our goals that I mentioned earlier, the civic and global engagement. So we're glad that you're with us tonight and wish you the best this year. It's now time for citizens interim, and I have a long list of people. I'm going to ask, let's see, if there are a number of you from the same group, I would ask if you would, possible for about 5 of you to speak, but of all the people who are going to speak, I'm going to ask you to speak for about 3 minutes because of the number of people tonight. All right? The first on the list is Carmen Cornejo.
Hi, good evening. Chancellor Glasper, President Burke, members of the board, Mr. Lee Combs, presidents of the community colleges. I'm here because I want to thank you for hearing my concerns. We go a long ways since 2011, and you probably remember me very well. I want to thank you, your willingness to communicate and listen to our concerns and our protests back in those days. And also the great support that we have had from the community colleges after we expressed our differences and we kind of dealt with it. I'm unpaid volunteer for the Dreamers since 2007. I do this from the bottom of my heart. I've been in so much trouble that only God knows all the troubles and all the difficult times that I have, because I chose to express my concerns about how education in Arizona is handled regarding undocumented students. But also, I want you to understand that I did this just for the love of education and the love that I feel for the Dreamers and the kids that are underprivileged in this community. I want to thank you for standing up against Tom Horn. I want to thank you for standing up for in-state tuition for DACA students. And also, I want to tell you something that I learned. I think we need to risk a little to gain a lot. And I feel that we risk, as an advocate, as a students, undocumented students, we risk a lot, but we're earning a lot. And I thank you for you to risk something and standing up for truth and justice.
Thank you. The next speaker is Alan Cameron.
So guess who's a retired teacher in this room? I'm Alan Cameron. I was a teacher of computer science and robotics at Carl Hayden High School. And I was in the magnet program and the robotics program, whose main goal really was to change the culture. To change the culture that kids who are called nerds and geeks would have as much status as the football athletes. We need more kids that produce and are innovative. But there's a saying in business that 20% of the people produce 80% of the results. And we can quibble about the percentage, but we all belong to organizations where we know that it's a smaller number of people that produce most of the work. I was fortunate enough to work with students that were in that 20%. And if you've heard of the Carl Hayden Robotics Club, you've heard of a few of them that have actually changed the culture. 5 years ago, there was a big blow into high school. Some of the brightest kids we knew were going to be shut out of college. They were not going to go to the community college. They were not going to go to the university. Some of them went anyway because they persevere, they're hardworking, they're extremely brilliant kids. And in the audience, and I won't embarrass her, but we have a lady who was an undocumented student of mine who has lobbied with Steve Wozniak of Apple, God, I forget everyone, the President of the United States, you know who he is, and she became one of the top 100 women in the world by Time Magazine as influencing. She's one of our students, and she did go finally wind up with an electrical engineering degree. We have Lorenzo in the audience here, who's one of 4 kids that they're making a major motion picture about now because of the struggles he overcame. What you guys have done is a great thing. And I know there's political risks. I talked to one of you once who said, you know, the people who vote me in, I've got to be a little careful. And I understand that. But you took a heck of a risk. However, also in this audience are some organizers who will never forget what you have done. Thank you.
Here. The next on my list is Carla Jalaria.
Members of the board, president, everyone. Louder? Oh, sorry. My name is Carla. I'm a member of the Arizona Dream Act Coalition. I'm 20 years old, and I'll share a little bit of my story. A couple of years ago, I graduated high school I graduated Arcadia High School in 2010. After doing that session, because of Prop 300, I wasn't able to afford in-state tuition, and for that, I was not able to go to school for a while. And then now, because of what you guys have done and me being DACA eligible, I'm not able to go back to school, and I want to thank you guys for that.
Thank you. The next on the list is Bibiana Vasquez.
Hello, everyone, members of the board, guests. My name is Bibiana Vasquez. I'm 20 years old. I am a member of the Arizona Dream Act Coalition. I'm also a full-time student at Phoenix College. First of all, I want to thank you for giving DACA recipients the opportunity to pursue an education. As someone who is currently a DACA recipient, I can speak from the bottom of my heart that it has made an immense difference in my life. When I graduated from high school, it was very difficult. I've always wanted to go to school, and I've had people above me, counselors who were supposed to be there and tell me to continue education, told me that I couldn't. And partly I believed it, but I knew something told me that I should just keep going, and I did. And even though at the time before DACA, I was only able to go to school one class a semester, people would tell me, just keep going, just keep going. Even if it's one small step at a time, you have to keep going, and that's what I did. And when I received DACA and I enrolled in school as a full-time student, it has opened so many doors that were closed to me before. I want to become a teacher, and I want to go back to the community where I grew up. And with this opportunity, I'm able to, and from the very deepest part of my heart, I really am sincerely thankful for this opportunity, and I speak on behalf of my community and my friends who are also DACA recipients. We are grateful, and we encourage you and support you in this decision to stand against Tom Horn. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you. The next on the list is Luis Gonzalez.
Mr. President, we have 6 speakers. They're going to be brief, but they're all part of another group called the Arizona Student Alliance Project. Do you mind if we proceed with them?
Surely.
Hello.
What are the names?
They're prioritized on the list.
Is it Diana Hannah?
Well, he can speak and I'll go and prioritize the list. Or I could just read out. So it's Luis Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Constantino Lopez.
Yes.
Nicole Morales. Paulina Hidalgo. Ethan Fierro. And Beto Soto.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, President, members of the board. My name is Luis Gonzalez. Right now, I am a Phoenix College student. I am studying to be for my associate's degree in medical assistant. I was brought to the U.S. when I was 5 years old. After those 5 years, I've been a Maricopa resident ever since. When I received my DACA, I was able to return to school because it was finally affordable for me. I became a full-time student, but also working full-time in order to pay for my school. While I did that, sorry, messing up a little. After I returned to school, I decided to go full-time just so I can go ahead and pursue my career even faster. Right now, thanks to in-school tuition, it's affordable, like I said. But the only problem is that with Tom Horn, he's going to take away out-of-state tuition from me. And with that going on, I won't be able to afford the school, so I have to drop out. Not just with that, but we're asking to give us a driver's license. As a full-time student, I rely on driving to go back and to from school just so I can afford to pay for school. And right now, it is hard because I don't have enough time to get tutoring, and that is affecting my grades, even though I'm still persevering and staying in school in order to get my degree. I just want to thank you very much for all your support, and just thank you very much for anything.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Good evening, Dr. Burke.
Your name, please?
Constantino Lopez.
All right.
Dr. Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, CEC and guests, thank you very much. I'm here, my name is Constantino Lopez, and I'm here supporting the students here behind me because we know how hard it is for these students. We that have mentored those students for 10, 20 years understand the hardships, and we understand that we also need to acknowledge when things go our way, as you know, when you make decisions as you have, and have had the courage to stand up to a person like Tom Horn. And so thank you very much, and we want you to keep up the good fight.
Thank you. Your name, please?
Nicole Morales. Hello, President, members of the board, and guests. I am Nicole. I graduated high school back in 2011, and I've never really had a hard time during school. I've always had, advanced placement classes. I was involved in school and everything. After I hit my senior year, and I was through my counselors and everything, I was told that I was not able to go into college and receive certain scholarships or going to different schools and universities. So I decided that after that I was going to go into helping the community. So I've ever since then I've been helping the community and involved with it. Thanks to you guys now, I'm going to be able to go back to school next semester, hopefully. I would like to thank you, and please keep fighting for it because I'm finally going to be able to go back to school. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There's a point of order here. I have some names here that are not on my list that I don't necessarily have sheets for, I think. And it is required that, do you? Okay, all right.
Hello, Mr. President and members of the board.
Your name, please?
My name is Paulina Hidalgo. Yeah. I attend Phoenix College, and I am majoring in criminal justice. I am also a member of ASAP, the Arizona Student Alliance Project. I recently graduated from Carl Hayden High School on 35th Avenue Roosevelt, and being that this school is so close to Arpaio's jail, I was always able to see the fear my friends carried within. I am privileged, but in this case, a lot of my friends aren't. In fact, my father, he has been wanting to go back to school since he wasn't able to finish engineering in Mexico, but he can't since he doesn't qualify for DACA nor a license. My friends, though, who do qualify for DACA are now struggling either for not being able to drive or they drive with fear. And now since tuition might go up, it's getting even harder. I believe that Governor Brewer is scared that brown people or any race will get educated and confront her like we are doing now. And it shouldn't matter on the color of your skin to depend on whether you can obtain a license or education. This situation offends me deeply, and I believe it should offend you as well. So I am here to ask you and present you a personal pledge to take a stance for the students of Phoenix College and any other colleges, and of course education. And I will leave a copy with your secretary and stay after the meeting about you guys signing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will read it to you guys. It says, I support the right of all Arizona residents who have received deferred action from the federal government to be able to apply for an Arizona driver's license immediately. I call on Governor Brewer to reserve her decision of denying deferred action recipients the right to apply for an Arizona driver's license.
Thank you.
That's what it reads.
Let me have that list.
Hello, my name is Ethan Fierro.
Ethan Fierro, okay.
I'm an Arizona student, with the Arizona Alliance Project. I recently just came back from a leadership retreat with Maricopa Community Colleges up in Prescott. There I learned a lot about myself, especially as a leader. There I learned that I needed to step up for my community and help support them and lead them. I'm not a deferred action student, but when I see the policies of Tom Horn and Governor Jan Brewer, I know this is not about it's not about their policies. It's about this. It's about being brown. It's about being a Latino. These dreamers are not undocumented. To them, Governor Jan Brewer and Tom Horn, they are offended by Latinos being able to drive. They are racially biased. On behalf of the Arizona Student Alliance Project, I want to thank you for standing up to them. But we need your help once more. Governor Jan Brewer, an extremist politician, we know you care. You care about the students being able to commute to campus safely, stay after school for tutoring, and being able to get home when the buses aren't running safely. This is a matter of public safety. So on behalf of the Arizona Student Alliance Project, I would like to call a resolution on Governor Brewer to reverse her decision of denying deferred action recipients the right to apply for an Arizona driver's license. If I may, I'd like to leave these copies with your secretary, but I would also like to speak with you after this meeting to further discuss the matter or set up an appointment to do so. So, Mr. President, Chancellor, members of the board, and presidents of the college, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you.
Thank you. Your name, please?
My name is Beto Soto. I'm a volunteer with Citizens for a Better Arizona. The Arizona Student Alliance Project is an initiative of Citizens for a Better Arizona. The spirit of Citizens for a Better Arizona is to combat extremist politicians in our state. Mr. Chancellor, President, members of the board, presidents of the community colleges, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the Emeritus Award winners. I've got to say, I just got my PhD in applied economics from the University of Florida, and I know what it takes to recognize a professor and their guidance. I know all it takes, the effort it takes to basically be an emeritus professor. They're extraordinary folks, and to be honest, when I just graduated in May from the University of Arizona, Florida, and I wanted to come back to Arizona and bring a PhD in economics in times of bad economy to become an academician. In fact, I wanted to apply to their community colleges to work there. But instead, I took a page from the message from the president in terms of your goals and ends. One of the bullet points is basically community development and civic responsibility. I believe that's a strong one. The fourth one, I believe. I don't know the fifth one.
Yes.
And when I came back here after finishing my PhD in May, I realized the attack on education by Tom Horn. He's an extremist politician. I went to community college at Pima, and without community college, I would have not gotten to the University of Arizona or would have gotten my PhD from the University of Florida. And I don't know exactly where I would be right now in life. I appreciate the community colleges, and that is exactly what brings me here today, to volunteer and go to your community colleges and speak to your young leaders. I mean, we got folks here from Chandler Gilbert Community College, from Phoenix College, from GCC. And they're here I went to them and organized with them and spoke to them. And what they told me is that they feel so comfortable with the stance that you're taking, especially under the initiative of Dr. Glasper, to interpret DACA the way you are, that they said, you know what? The board supports us. The board understands that driver licenses for campus safety are an issue that should be considered by the board. They said the board is going to support us. And that is the initiative that we bring here today. Our folks spoke to you already about personal commitment sheets that we left with your secretary that when we speak to you afterwards. They introduced a brief resolution that talks about campus safety and how important it is that these folks are able to go to group meetings at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., be able to stay in the libraries, go at around 5 a.m. to their community colleges and study hours in which the buses aren't running, and know that they're going to be able to go back and commute safely. Transportation, the access to the driver license is something very important. And again, extremist politicians should not be tolerated. Like Tom Horn, Dan Brewer is an extremist politician that is completely out of touch with Arizona. Arizona is not racist. She is, our governor is. And would invite you to sign this personal pledge, and we'd love to speak to you about the resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next person I have, I don't believe this person has spoken. Diana Hanna? Hmm?
Hi, President and members of the board. I was not ready to speak, but I will. I've been in Arizona 60 years. I was born and raised here. I've seen this state go from little to large. I had all the opportunities in the world to do what I wanted to do. Now I see my people not being able to drive, almost not being able to go to college. That saddened my heart. I know what it's like not to be able to get a license. When I went to Japan in 1976, I tried to get a license there. So I kind of know what it feels like to be told, no, you can't drive in Japan. Why? I'm here visiting. I want to go from one country to another. I went to Philippines. They said no too. So I felt kind of alienated, not being able to drive, not being able to get to my job and back. So I hope that Jan Brewer changes her mind. I'd like to thank you all for the support that you give the students. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. But it's very important that we have legal, abiding students and people to drive, to be able to be legally driving and licensed and insured. That's what we need. That's what Japan told me. You can't get a license because you're not from here. I said, but I'm here with the Marines. Why can't I? They still said no. So thank you so much for listening to my story.
Thank you. The next person is Roao Patino.
Hi, my name is Rocio Patino.
Rosie.
Yeah, I'm here with the Arizona Parent Alliance. Sorry, I'm just gonna get myself. I came here today as a concerned parent. My kid is not going to college yet. He's 11 years old, but he does not have a social security number. He is not legal in this country. And with all this that is happening right now, it's really hard for me to think that his time is gonna come when he's gonna wanna go to college, and he's not gonna be able to do it. Let's not talk about driving. I'm here to support family and friends, my friends' daughters and sons, who got their social security number through the deferred action, who cannot drive because their right was taken away from them. And now also people are trying to make even harder for them to get an education. I'm here to thank you so much for your support and to ask you to please continue to do so, and to ask you please do not leave our dreamers, our young people without an education. Thank you.
Thank you. The next name is Berenice Oranes.
Hi, my name is Berenice Ibanez. Good evening, President Burke, members of the board, and guests. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your support in granting in-state tuition to DACA recipient students. At the same time, I want to respectfully ask you to continue to stand up and defend the right of every student. Coming from someone who has been given the opportunity to continue and further my education, I believe that it's counterintuitive to deny someone the right for an education. When I had the opportunity to work at Glendale Community College as an academic advisor, I saw the many students that were able to benefit from being able to get in-state tuition. And I believe that if this is taken, it would not only be heartbreaking for me to see that, but also for many of those students who have been waiting for this opportunity. So thank you again.
Thank you. And the next speaker is Carlos Corral.
My name is Carlos Corral. Hello, Mr. President, board members, presidents of the community colleges. I'm 22. I attend Phoenix Community College majoring in economics and banking finance. I came representing ASAP and advocating human rights. First, I want to thank you for not giving up and jumping into a legal battle versus Tom Horn and the lawsuit he filed against Maricopa Community Colleges for allowing DACA residents to pay in-state tuition. Thank you for being in the right side of history. When I graduated high school in 2010, I didn't have the money to continue to pursue my higher education because of Prop 300. My mom was barely able to pay the bills. I started working wherever I could, construction, side jobs, being able to, in the sun, minimum wage. With DACA recipients being able to pay in-state tuition, I decided to resume my education because it was affordable. Now Brewer and Horn are attacking us, the students, with the lawsuit. Because why? Because the beautiful color of our skins? Because of their extremist political views? because they don't want brown people to get educated. Education is a human right. Number 26, it states everyone has the right to education. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be made should be equally accessible to all in the basis of merit. We deserve the right to be able to get a driver's license and drive just like everyone gets that gets a working permit here in Arizona. I'm here to tell you that we are a group of students organizing. We are tired of being afraid of living in a state where we've been living practically all of our lives. We're tired of being afraid of law enforcement. We're tired of being second-class students. We are building power. Are you on our side? I lost one. I'm a Phoenix College student and a human being that's tired of being a second-class student, tired of being a second-class citizen, tired of being oppressed just for the simple reason I wasn't born in this country. All that is not going to change because the good hearts of Brewer and Horn. It's going to change because it's going to change by organizing. We are building power in high schools with parents, teachers, with our community. We are first-class students and human beings organizing our campuses, building power, not with money, but with people power. I will organize, be a student, build communities, and keep my grades up. We need your support. We need you to keep fighting the immoral lawsuit Tom Horn filed against us, against Maricopa Community Colleges, and we will be behind you all the way. We need your support and to be vocal about DACA recipients being able to get driver's licenses. We are building power and community. We are here to ask you, are you going to stand with us, the students, the vulnerable students, or are you going to stand on the side of hate and injustice? Thank you.
Thank you. Has Manuel Saldana spoken?
Hello, my name is Manuel Saldana. Hello, President Berg, members of the governing board, members of the CEC, and guests. Anybody I missed out. I'm going to be brief. I also have the same message as my friends over here. First of all, I want to thank you so much for the way you guys are using DACA and helping our family so much. For backing up Chancellor Ruff's policy, and most of all, in my family, my name is my bad. I'm also an off-and-on student at GCC, community volunteer and organizer, and I'm also a two-time Afghanistan veteran. And when I joined for duty, for honor, but for most of all, for my family. I have 4 sisters that were born in the States and 4 sisters that were not born here. When I was over there and getting shot at and walking up those hills and mountains, we weren't yawning, we were standing up straight, we were vigilant, and my sister over there was one of the persons I was fighting for. And I'm so glad that there's people out here fighting for her today. I don't have to go overseas or anywhere to see a hero. I can see them right here. And I just want to thank you so much. Also, I hope you keep recognizing the importance of having a driver's license and to keep fighting for in-state tuition. We're here for education, and I just love my family. And if you attack her, you're attacking my family, you're attacking my community. And I love that there's people here defending us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I also have the name Maria Rodriguez. Yes?
Hi, good evening. My name is Maria Rodriguez. I'm the lucky sister he was just talking about. I'm here today, first of all, to thank all of you for your decision to offer DACA deferred action for students like me and thousands of others who are battling against people like Joe Arpaio, Jan Brewer, and Tom Horn. I recently graduated from North High School. I was in their International Baccalaureate program. If any of you are familiar with that, you know it's an intense program. We compete against students on an international level, and we work for 4 long years. We write 20-page essays. We stay up all night getting those done. What was most heartbreaking for me this summer was watching those students who I went to school with. I saw them go to great colleges, and I'm so proud of them because I was there along with them the whole time. But I just couldn't understand how we got the exact same IB diploma. We competed on the exact same international level test, and they got to go to great universities, and I got to go to a community college. And don't get me wrong, community college has been such a blessing for me. I went in such an angry person, and I've gotten to learn so many professors who are there helping us, and they're just wonderful. And I've gotten to know many wonderful people like the people from Mecha who are there fighting with us, but I'm just really tired of being put, like our friend said, as a second-class student because I know I've worked just as hard as many other students in this country, and I know we deserve the same education. If Mr. Miranda, if you ask your wife, Catherine Miranda, who was my vice principal at Palm Lane Elementary School, if you ask her who I am, she'll tell you that's not Maria Rodriguez, that's Angela Rodriguez, because when I was 12, I realized that I couldn't be a Maria in this state. I had to be an Angie. I had to Americanize myself to fit in this state because there's so much racism, so much ignorance going on. And it's about time that changes because I have 2 wonderful friends, Daniel Ledesma. This guy can do organic chemistry with his eyes closed. He couldn't go to your university. You know where he's at right now? He's at Target, mopping floors and cleaning because he can't go to a university. He's from Argentina. And it's not just brown skin, it's anybody who can't get a driver's license here, who can't get an education. I have another friend who wants to be a doctor. He's with his dad carrying boxes and doing landscaping. Education gives us the job at careers. It gives us a chance at careers. We want careers, we don't want jobs, so we want to dedicate all our talent because this generation has so much to offer, so much talent, so much hope, and we want to put that to use. I don't want to be stuck. I have 2 other jobs, plus a volunteer job at a dental clinic. I don't want to be stuck at 2 other jobs at Payless, measuring people's feet. I want to be going out there fixing smiles, which is what I want to do. I want to be a dentist, and that's a long road ahead of me. And I'm going to need all of your help to get there. And believe me, I can do it. I just need your support. And I know, Mr. Miranda, you've heard this story before because I like to tell it. I heard this story of a girl who was walking at the beach, and there was hundreds of starfishes laying on the ground, and she picked up a starfish and threw it in the water. And the man asked her, "Why are you doing that? There's so many out there. You're never going to get all of them." And the girl replied, "Because I'm making a difference in that one's life. I'll get to the others in a while, but I'm starting with this one." And that's what you guys did. You started making a difference with one of us, and you just continue. You'll get all of us eventually. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Now, I do not have any more names on my list.
Mr. President, just a quick reminder of what. I just wanted to say, for those of you that attended, we remain silent during this time because during these board proceedings, we're prohibited by the law from reacting or saying anything, whether it's an agreement or disagreement on any issue that comes. So if you notice an absence of response from us up here, it's not a reflection of our sentiments, but it's just simply that that's the way the law prohibits us from doing. And if you permit me, I'd like to say it in Spanish as well. Quisiera decirle a los padres, especialmente los que están aquí hoy, y todos, que no podemos reaccionar, no podemos responder a las preguntas, los comentarios que hemos oído hoy, simplemente porque eso es la ley. La ley es prohibido hacer eso, y también los sentimientos de nosotros es algo que no lo podemos expresar ahorita simplemente porque esas son las reglas. Y ojalá lo entienden bien porque sí tengo y tenemos muy, muy fuertes opiniones aquí. Gracias.
Thank you. We now move to the approval of the order of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Lum moves. Ms. Pearson seconds the motion to approve the order of the agenda. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, not. Motion carries. The next is the consent agenda. Does anyone wish to remove any item from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Mr. Sarr moves.
Second.
Mr. Lum seconds a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the non-consent agenda. The first is the approval of a final decision on the bid protest appeals of Perceptive Software. Dr. Glasper?
Mr. President, members of the board, it is recommended that the governing board adopt the attached Resolution A, which adopts the hearing officer report and recommendation dated August 30th, 2013, rejecting the bid protest appeals of Perceptive Software and lifts the restrictions imposed by the governing board at its February 26, 2013 meeting on proceedings with contract negotiations and performance with Highland Software Incorporated for an enterprise content management system, also known as document imaging.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'd like to move we adopt Resolution A. There is two resolutions, A and B, and I move we adopt Resolution A.
All right. The motion is to adopt Resolution A in this item. Is there a second? Mr. Lum moves. Mr. Sarr seconds a motion to approve Resolution A in the matter before us. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item is the approval of authorization for legal fees and costs for Wilson, Elzer, Moskowitz, Edelman, and Dicker LLP. Dr. Glasper.
Mr. President, members of the board, it is recommended that the governing board authorize the expenditure of up to $2.1 million and the issuance of purchase orders in support of the expenditures in legal fees and costs, including forensic consulting costs, through the end of the calendar year with the law firm of Wilson, Elsner, Moskowitz, Elderman, and Dicker, LLP. This expenditure ceiling is subject to revision with the governing board's approval based on the changing nature of the circumstances for which the services are required.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
In the best interest of the public and for public safety, I move we approve this item.
All right, Mr. Lum moves. Mr. Sarr seconds a motion to approve the authorization for legal fees and costs for Wilson, Elser, Moskowitz, Edelman, and Dicker LLP. Any discussion, please? Hearing none. All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item is under business services. The approval of a fee increase for the architect student portal complex at Mesa Community College. Ms. Thompson?
Mr. President, members of the board, this is one of our major bond projects at Mesa Community College. It's a student portal or one-stop center, and the recommendation is to approve the architectural fees for an increase of somewhat over $395,000 in order to achieve some needed changes in the scope of the project.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve? Mr. Sarr moves. I second the motion to approve this budget item. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I don't like changing fees or additional fees, but when we were briefed on this issue, I think it's important because there was major changes made to the design that's necessary to this architectural change. So I speak in favor of the motion.
Okay. Any other comment? All right, all those in favor of approving a fee increase for the architect student portal complex at Mesa Community College, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
No.
Motion carries 4-1. The next item is the approval of a job order contract purchase order for the remodeling of Bullpit Auditorium at Phoenix College. Ms. Thompson?
Mr. President, members of the board, this is a remodeling project on the order of some of the other remodeling projects we've had underway for performing arts centers. There will be some minor remodeling, new mechanical systems, replacement of windows with new energy efficient units, and we'll be addressing some safety issues such as fall protection.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Ms. Pearson moves.
Second.
Mr. Lum seconds a motion for the approval of a job order contract purchase order for the remodeling of the Bullpit Auditorium at Phoenix College. Any discussion?
Quick question, when is this scheduled for completion?
Dr. Sully, you know the answer to that?
Mr. Burke, Mr. Miranda, the work will commence at the end of September, and it will be finalized by February.
The work will be finalized?
Yes,
Wow.
February, March.
Okay, good. All right.
The auditorium is so heavily used that we're on a very tight timeline.
Okay.
And I have another question, what's the capacity?
700 seats.
All right. Any other discussion?
Yeah, this is an important item. I think this is very important to the community, the Bullpit Auditorium. We use it all the time for major events, for district-wide events. It's important to the Phoenix College community and the district at large. And I think it's about time we're actually putting some money repairing this older auditorium.
Yeah. Okay, all of those in favor of approving a job order contract purchase order for the remodeling of Bullpit Auditorium at Phoenix College, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item is in Human Resources, the approval of residential faculty policies for FY 2013-2014. Mr. Bowers?
Mr. President, members of the board, with this item, it is recommended that the governing board approve the fiscal year 2013-2014 policy manual for residential faculty.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve? Mr. Sarr moves.
Second.
Mr. Miranda seconds a motion to approve the residential faculty policies for FY 2013-14. Any discussion?
I think I'd like to thank the people that work so hard on these policies and trying to make one manual and review our policies and bring them together. And it's nice to have some consensus on the number and importance of these policies.
Okay. Okay. All right, all those in favor of the motion to approve the residential faculty policies for 2013-2014, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
But they have to
The next item is a first reading, a review of proposed MCCCD board policy revisions. Dr. Glasper?
Mr. President, members of the board, I'd like to thank the board for taking the time to review all of its policies over the last few months. And it is recommended that the governing board adopt the proposed changes to its governance policy as a first reading. And we will take whatever comments that will come within this next month and come back for second reading, and then I can begin my work of interpretation.
All right. The next item on the agenda is a review of proposed revisions to staff policy manual and repeal of the Chancellor's Executive Council policy manual. Mr. Bowers.
Mr. President, members of the governing board, this is a first reading, proposed revision to the staff policy manual and the repeal of the Chancellor's Executive Council policy manual. And with this item, it is recommended that the governing board approve the revisions to sections A1, A20, A29, B5, and B7, and the addition of Appendix G, the Maricopa and Estrella Mountain Community College Southwest Skill Center's policy manuals as revised to the staff policy manual. These revisions are shown in legislative format on the attached documents, and it is further recommended that the governing board approve the repealing of the CEC policy manual.
Okay.
The intent and result of these revisions will be to incorporate the employment positions and the position incumbents from the Maricopa and Estrella Mountain Southwest Skill Centers into coverage under the staff policy manual effective November 1st, to incorporate CEC members as non-classified employees under certain provisions as indicated under the staff policy manual, again effective November 1st, and to repeal the existing CEC policy manual, again effective November 1st, 2013.
Okay, thank you. Item 7 is monitoring reports, budget analysis. Ms. Thompson?
Mr. President, members of the board, this is the budget analysis report for the general fund for the first 2 months of the fiscal year. Our spending patterns are similar to prior years, which we expect because the biggest expenditure is payroll and flex spending, and that occurs every 2 weeks. So we're definitely consistent with prior years. Similarly, with revenue collections, those are on pace with prior years, and we do expect to have a slight increase in fund balance at the end of the fiscal year.
Okay, thank you. The item 9 is community linkage, governing board reports. Mr. Lum?
Yes, we had exciting things happening on the west side, and all you board members were there. I mean, so it was nice. We had the opening of the Veterans Center, the grand opening of the Veterans Center at the Estrella Mountain Community College, and we had the opening of the Estrella Hall, grand opening at Estrella Mountain Community College, and we're proud for all the work that they did on the hall and all the disruption to the students. But it was a beautiful facility, and it's proud we can offer this for our community on the west side.
Mr. Miranda?
Yes. This past couple of weeks, I've had the opportunity to be a guest, be greeted by the faculty, the presidents of both Mesa Community College when I was there, and I thank you for your visit, and also for Paradise Valley. And I think what I found is that it's just a reaffirmation of what I see going on in most of the community colleges, and that's very serious learning, but also the enthusiasm and the professionalism that I've encountered at every single school has been amazing. I also wanted to just say that every campus is unique in its own way, and I hope it remains that way to a large extent. I know we're going to a regional concept, and I think that's useful, and I think we need to promote that idea, but I still think that there's the uniqueness on every campus. I still have to visit one of the campuses associated with Mesa Community College. I believe that's the North...
Red Mountain.
Red Mountain, okay. But I was there briefly, and I got to run into rattlesnakes and a few other things out there. But it was an enjoyable visit. I really did. The other thing that I've noticed is the partnerships that the community colleges are embarking on, I think, are going to be the sign of the future, whether it's with NAU or some of the other colleges. So I had an opportunity to hear from them on that, and I thought that it was unique. Also, finally, I wanted to say that I complimented the president of Paradise Valley Community College for showing me again, because it's implemented in other campuses, the unique way of registering people, where you sign in and then you can tour the campus, and then they can call you and let you know when your spot's up, so that you can be on a campus for 2 hours and you don't have to waste it sitting down in the lounge. You can go out and really appreciate the entire campus. So that was another way, a reaffirmation of what I think is going in the right direction. So it's great. Thank you.
Good. Ms. Pearson?
No report.
Okay, Mr. Sarr?
Among many of the ones mentioned, I also attended the grand opening of the Transit Center at Paradise Valley Community College, and that was a great opportunity to meet many of the local business people that support the college, and as well as students and faculty. It was there before. It's a lot better now, and I appreciate the work that everybody did in making this a workable facility.
I attended the ASBA Law Conference in Scottsdale recently. It was a very interesting conference, mostly K-12 people, but it was had great sessions and enjoyed that conference. Attended the quarterly audit committee meeting, the dedication of the Veterans Center at Estrella Mountain Community College, the dedication of the Granite Student Center remodel at Paradise Valley, and enjoyed all of those events. In the eternal community, the Chancellor's report.
Mr. President, members of the board, I only have one item tonight. This is an opportunity for us to get an update on our newest entity, the Maricopa Corporate College, and I would ask Dr. Jean Giovannini to present this evening. And periodically over the next year, we'll be coming back with different updates to brief the board on the progress that we're making in terms of establishing the new entity.
Thank you, Dr. Glasper. Mr. Burke, may I approach the podium, please?
Yes, please.
Mr. Burke, members of the governing board, I want to thank you for this opportunity to give you an update on the Maricopa Corporate College on behalf of Dr. Glasper. You have before you the slides that I'll go through briefly. You also have before you, the latest off the press, our initial brochure entitled A Smarter Solution for a Smarter Workforce. Since you acted on the Chancellor's vision back in December, I wanted to give you an update as to where we are today and where we're going over the next year in some detail, and then what we planned over the next couple of years in a very rough way. I do need to say, though, that this concept has been well received by cities, economic development agencies, chambers of commerce, industry leaders, clusters of industries that we've spoken to, and all applaud your effort and your decision to move forward with this initiative. However, just the concept of itself doesn't make things happen. We solicited the services of the Learning Resource Network. The Learning Resource Network is a nationally renowned organization, the top in its field related to continuing education and contract training. They came and visited us for a week-long activity, which included meetings with the CEC, 3 days retreat with the staff at the colleges that are currently engaged in these activities. And what I'm sharing with you today is a direct result of our work with Learn and their recommendations as it relates to strategies, transition plans, implementation plans, and moving forward in a strategic manner throughout the next 3 to 4 years. I take a lot of comfort in Learn. I've been associated with them a couple times in my career, but most recently, which is most impressive, is they just finished a project up in the Seattle area in which 6 community colleges, independent community colleges, with 6 governing boards, came together as one entity called VISTA for an initiative just like this, to consolidate the contract training, customized training activity. 6 colleges coming together as one, and as far as I know, there are no casualties. So we're very, there was a very good track record on their part, and that helped us a great deal and continues to help us a great deal. We know the people up at Vista, so we're kind of right behind them and learning perhaps from some of their mistakes or their missteps. So we're very fortunate to have had Learn by our side, and we'll continue to do so. Specifically, we're looking at the plans from a timeline standpoint, a building year, a launch year, and then an Excel couple of years. Over this next year, 13-14, a great deal of activity will take place in terms of training the staff and developing the infrastructure and strategic plan for the future, and to begin planning for district facilities to bring together, and as you recall, this effort is a partnership. This is a partnership among the 10 colleges to mobilize, bring together the current activity, leverage it to make it even stronger. We will do most of that work this coming year. And 14-15, you could say, is our launch, if you will. Get off the ground in terms of launching our brand, offering solutions and services. At the same time, though, continue to do what we're doing at the colleges and move into really branding the Maricopa Corporate College in 14-15 specifically and launching those brands of services. And as time goes on, to excel, to include increasing sales and product mix, and to eventually open a facility. What I do want to spend on is just where we've been over this last quarter and where we're going over these next 3 quarters, and not to go through all this detail, but as I mentioned, this is a transition of employees. That plan has been vetted with each college president as it relates to the programs and services that are involved. I've been very fortunate to bring on a staff with me today, and they're here this evening. I'd like to introduce them. We have Brianna Bendati as our Vice President of Workforce Solutions. Brianna's still here. Brianna, thanks. Stand up. She came from that little private institution down the street, I think it's called U of P or something like that, Brianna's had a national presence in community colleges and workforce solutions at the University of Phoenix for 8 years, so we're very fortunate. And I'm very grateful to have 2 people that came over with me from Gateway. I guess they're still drinking the Kool-Aid in some way. Susie Polito, our Vice President, of Business Development, and Sydney Dietz, Director of Business Services. It's often said that visions are really just dreams unless you execute them. These are the executors, not the executioners, the executors. And so I'm very, very, very pleased and delighted that they're joining us in this initiative. We're spending time developing strategic financial goals, putting some infrastructure together relates to the website, as well as the brochure as you indicated, and spending time with current vendors and how we'll continue to work with those current vendors, not as 10 colleges, but as one entity. Coming up the next quarter, beginning in October, we're looking at actually the people we talked about, transitioning them to functional roles within the Maricopa Corporate College. So they'll begin operating under MCOR, not their individual colleges, continue to meet those institutional needs. We're looking at researching and prospecting about half dozen initiatives, some of which are very large in nature. And we're solidifying a budget for the entity in and of itself, and then establish a temporary location. I want to thank Dr. Gonzalez very much for offering some space over at Gateway for the people to transition over and spend our temporary time there while we look at a facility of the future. The first part of next calendar year will involve market analysis studies and begin offering more professional continuing education as we work with more vendors and provide more solutions and more opportunities. Continue to build that client base, but also it's very important that our infrastructure matches very much with the district infrastructure so that it's very compatible, so services, internal services do talk to one another, and then to begin that strategic plan for 14-15. Finally, the last quarter of this year, we'll continue some facility planning and begin launch, and this is very important, launch co-branded client landing web pages, marketing efforts where we will have a presence throughout the Valley, whether that be in industries or whether it be in trade associations, to secure advisory board participation. That may be by industry cluster, or that may both be in general nature. And as I mentioned, this is a partnership, and we're looking at avenues and ways in which we can continue to engage the colleges in some type of activity that allows for resources and revenue sharing. So that's the overall for the 4 quarters of this year, and kind of a little insight as to what we plan on doing in the next few years. I stand before you for any comments or questions.
Questions for Dr. Giovannini?
I have a quick question on what's the future hold in terms of this corporate college in terms of research and development?
Research and development? Yeah. As it?
I mean, as far as, well, that's typical research R&D's role that the universities play. Is there anything that you envision for the corporate college to include that?
Well, under the services umbrella, that's a possibility. We also, part of the corporate college is the Center for Entrepreneurial Innovation at the CEI on the Gateway campus. That everyday research and development is going on in those businesses. But that is not something we've entertained to date, but I believe as time goes on, we're finding that there's a lot of different type of need out there than we expect. More so, you know, some companies are very interested in the recruitment, the orientation, the assessment of employees, more so than we ever thought would be. So I would envision as time goes on, something like that may come up as a need. That's nothing that we've contemplated to date, though, but certainly could.
You know, another point I wanted to make was our proximity to Mexico lends itself to so much. And there's talk, I don't know if some people, we may not hear it too often, but within the business community, within the Chamber of Commerce, that's one of the big pushes right now that's going on, is to try to capitalize on that. And to give you a point, in the last year, the trade between Texas, which, by the way, had no downturn in job production. In fact, Texas increased jobs during the recession, while almost every state lost jobs. Texas with Mexico had a trade of something like a neighborhood of $96 billion annually. Arizona had a $6 billion trade, and yet we're both along the border. And I think that's something to be pursued, I think, especially with our relationship with the Sonora Commission. I mean, that's just something down the road, food for thought.
Yes, and I think the link that's all in common there, what we're finding, is that the need for employees, from the lowest level skills to the highest level skills. And we're told that 7 out of every 10 applicants for customer service jobs don't have the skills to even fill out the application. And then we have engineering companies that are looking for engineering content. The link all there is workforce and workforce training. The better trained workforce you have, the more attractive you're going to be. Mayor Stanton, Barry Broom just came back from China, and that was the message that they came back with. That the businesses out there, Shanghai or Singapore or Shanghai, Singapore both, are exporting people because it's so darn crowded. The unemployment rate is 0. We have opportunity here for those people, as well as Mexico.
We had a ton leave the room earlier.
Yes, we did.
Other questions?
Gene, the skills gap is something that all the colleges and skill centers address. But do you have a pretty good, do you feel confident that you can put your finger on those skill areas that the state is really, the gap is large?
I think what gives us the confidence is that our direct clients are going to be companies, and that's their lifeline. And so we'll get a very direct, immediate understanding of what those skill gaps are. I mentioned I went to a power engineering company who was short on power engineers, can't recruit them to the Valley. Now going to take aerospace engineers and electrical engineers and make them power engineers. We wouldn't have known that sitting in our campuses. Okay? That's just not how that engagement wouldn't have happened. So I think the fact that the initiative is really directly related to working with incumbent workers, tying directly to companies, we'll find those things out much more readily than perhaps we had in the past. So those gaps would be much more noticeable.
Dr. Giovannini, what's efforts are going into or be part of your efforts to actually bring companies in and develop work and develop the need for the training and the skills and actually recruiting companies to come to Arizona and Maricopa area?
I mentioned earlier that this has been very well received by the economic development industry, chambers of commerce, and specifically for that reason. Oh, now I know, one point of contact, I know where to go to. So if I have a business in trouble, I know to contact you as it relates to employment training. We're going out and recruiting, and I have been on visits. I've gone with GPEC out of state to visit companies to help recruit them and retain businesses here as well. So it's been this concept has been very well received because they see it as a direct benefit and resource to them, to those entities, the chambers, the cities, the economic development agencies, when they go out and try to recruit business as well as retain business here.
Awesome, thank you. Can we get copies of these slides?
Yeah.
We've got them.
We got them? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I just passed down to you a 4-page document from Arizona Capital Times. They did a focus on workforce development, which features the corporate college. And what it talks about is the endorsement that we've received from Mr. Barry Broom, who's the president and CEO of the Greater Phoenix Economic Council. And it just talks about the partnerships and how they are going to assist us in terms of meeting the needs of the individual communities that we serve, and also to utilize our connections in terms of workforce, in terms of jobs, to also help to recruit new companies because of the things that we're doing as well.
Great, thank you.
And to add to that, we've got more than just the corporate college. We've got more than the skill centers, the 10 colleges, the SBDC. I mean, we've put together quite an operation here when it comes to meeting the needs of industry and business in Arizona. I congratulate all those involved because it's more than anything else that I've seen in the Valley, other than people that are out there selling Arizona. A lot of that can't happen without our help, so I appreciate our help that we get from everybody here.
Great, thank you. The next item on the agenda is faculty report. Dr. Patricia Finkenstadt, I understand there is no report. Is that true? Do you have one? That is correct. Oh, thank you. Employee group reports, Mr. Dan Houston, Management, Administration, and Technology.
Sorry, I just forgot this one. Good evening, President Burke, members of the board, Dr. Glasper, members of the CEC, and guests. My name is Dan Houston, and I'm currently serving as the MAT Employee Group President. I began my term as my 2-year term as Employee Group President on July 1st. I've worked at Rio Salado College for about 2.5 years. Previously, I worked at the district office and Mesa Community College. And as a student, I completed my first 2 years of coursework at MCC, having many override slips signed by Mr. Burke. I'm honest. I wanted to provide just a quick report on the BAM, the Big All Map meeting that we had on August 8th. It was held at the Performing Arts Center at Scottsdale Community College. We were very grateful for that. MAP employees and guests heard from Dr. Glasper, the Vice Chancellor, and President Burke. There's updates on significant projects such as the Student Success Initiative, Maricopa Priorities, the Classification and Compensation Study, and several others. In short, we packed as much information into a half day as possible. They were like lightning rounds. We were moving pretty quickly. We stayed pretty close to being on schedule, which was amazing. And there's the little green square that Dr. Glasper is asked to stay inside of while he paced around the stage. Numbers. At nearly 700 attendees in person and streaming, it was the largest meeting of MAP employees that anyone can recall. We, of course, did a survey. 89% of those that responded said it was great or okay, which we thought was pretty good.
Awesome.
But the comments, I think, really tell the story. They loved the Chancellor's presentation as well as his summary. It was the best part of BAM. It was motivational and informative. Online streaming and video playback. We're very interested. We have the video that we hope will be available this week. We've had many requests for copies of the video, and we'll be able to provide those to people who ask for them. The amount of information that's presented in a relatively short period of time was impressive. But one more comment. I felt that the MAP population were treated as leaders within the organization. It felt more like a State of the Union address, and Dr. Glasper presented us with a thorough update regarding his initiatives and priorities. And most importantly, we celebrated learning as students, faculty, and staff came together from across colleges and departments to bring this exciting event come to pass. And we would just like to thank you for your support, and President Burke and the Governing Board support, and we look forward to an exciting year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ms. Licia Hand, the Adjunct Faculty Association.
To President Burke, Governing Board members, Dr. Glasper, members of CEC, and guests. Thank you for the continued opportunity to speak on behalf of the adjunct faculty who teach for Maricopa Community Colleges. The purpose for speaking to you tonight is to present our new college representatives and provide a brief update. Both Laura Adelia and Roberto Hernandez were selected to serve on the AFA board during the September board meeting. Laura Adelia, who was here earlier and needed to leave, was selected for the college representative for Mesa. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. For Mesa Community College. Laura teaches in the Department of Philosophy and Religion. We have with us here tonight still Roberto Hernandez, and he was selected for the college representative for Phoenix College. Roberto teaches in the Applied Technology, Family, and Consumer Science Department. I'd like to welcome our new representatives. So for our brief report, this fall, the Adjunct Faculty Employee Group has continued to meet bi-monthly with MCLI, approving AFPG applications and planning to move the AFP application online spring 2014. I'm very grateful for the help of MCLI with this. Dawn has been very helpful, and we've worked together on this. We have been also planning the fall 2013 Adjunct Faculty Day of Learning Conference, as well as participate in district meetings. In September, the AFA held a district-wide Solve the Mystery of Getting Hired at Glendale Community College with over 50 participants. And many adjuncts have asked, I still get emails today asking for when and where the next Solve the Mystery workshop will be. So, presidents of my colleges, I don't think I need to say you all, you know who you are. We are looking for you to open up your campus. We have the material. We worked with district office, HR, to make the material. What we need are subject matter experts who would be willing to host an interactive workshop listing the details of how to get hired. So please, let's work together and make another workshop happen. The last and not least is that the AFA is continuing with the fall 2013 Outstanding Adjunct Faculty Recognition. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak on behalf of our over 6,814 adjunct faculty. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a comment. I'd like to ask the association to open up your elections to all the members. I kind of believe in one man, one vote, and when you have just the officers elect other officers, I think it should be open to everybody. I think you have a very intelligent and talented membership who's interested in what you guys do as a leadership and interested in the direction it goes. And I'm just, on a personal level, just asking you to open that election up to all members.
Thank you, Lum.
I've been called worse, but
I just wanted to explain that I've been spending 2 semesters to look for a college representative for Estrella Mountain Community College. We've had 4 potential candidates, and each candidate can't be the representative because they can't attend the meetings because of the distance. When we apply or post for Phoenix College, we inevitably have about 5 candidates that come forward, and then it goes down from there. And I'm really not sure what that's about. South Mountain last time we had 2, Mesa we had 5, and the positions will be open again for people to apply at the end of this year. So, but we'll take that into consideration. Thank you.
Well, perhaps we should, Mr. President, perhaps we should have something here at the board meeting to recognize maybe as many as we can get in here, because I do support what Mr. Lum has said.
What I'm trying to do is talk to adjunct faculty. I think my eyes have really opened as an adjunct faculty. I thought, oh, you teach in the classroom. And what I've learned is you have 5 classes, you serve on 3 to 5 committees, and then you have 3 or 4 other duties as assigned. And I think being on the AFA board, if you want to be a full-time faculty, is a really good opportunity for someone to see what's involved. So.
Ms. Ander, we appreciate your professionalism and your reports and your commitment to the district. And pass that on to all the adjunct faculty, please. The Vice Chancellor's reports, Charter High School updates, Dr. Harper Marinick.
Thank you, Mr. Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glassberg, CC colleagues, and guests. At your request, we submitted to you earlier this month annual reports for both charter schools, the Gateway Early College High School and Phoenix College Prep Academy. And tonight, we have a follow-up with brief presentations from both principals, but I am going to ask Dr. Gonzalez first, and then Dr. Solly to make introductory comments before the presentations are made.
President Burke, members of the board, Chancellor, members of CEC, and guests, it's my pleasure to introduce our principal of Gateway Early College High School, Miss Lisa Smith, who will come up and present. I've got to say that as I began an interest in Gateway, I was really excited to see that it had a high school on its campus. As a former high school teacher, that really excited me. And as I've gotten to know Lisa and her students and what we're doing there, I'm extremely impressed with the leadership that's provided and our faculty on our campus. It's a model that I believe in and support, and I also believe that it supports the vision that the Chancellor laid out in terms of a P20 presence on our campuses. So with no further delay, I introduce Lisa.
Yay.
Good evening, President Burke, honored board members, Chancellor Glasper, members of the CEC, and guests. Thank you for letting us present tonight. Gateway Early College High School, the 13-14 report sort of looks back at the past year to see how we've done and where we need to go. Some things to celebrate from the end of last year. Last year we had 250 students. This year we're up to 275. That is our absolute maximum. We just have no other seats to put kids into, but we have a waiting list in every grade level.
Wow.
So the word has really gotten out into the community about what we offer and the atmosphere on Gateway Community College's campus. So we have a 0.5 dropout rate. The state has about a 16% dropout rate. And we have a 98% graduation rate. And really what that translates into is that we've lost one kid that dropped out in the last 3 years. So we did do everything in our power to stop that, but sometimes life happens. So we made our annual yearly progress goals, and what that means is on the aims, they have cutoff scores that we need to meet every year. And as you can see, Gateway continues to beat the state every year. Our reading scores went up this year. Our math scores went up significantly from a whole 10 percentage points. And we dropped just a little bit in writing, but we beat the state by a significant amount. So we have a lot of things to be proud of over at Gateway. You know, there are some things that didn't exactly turn out the way we wanted them to. So this year, our Gateway is labeled as a B school, and we missed that cutoff score by 1 point. And that was pretty upsetting to all of us. So we really took some time and dived into the data. We looked to see what it was that went wrong, what we could do better, and basically it came down to 2 points, and it was our lowest achieving students, the bottom 25%. And that's defined by the state of those kids that score the very lowest in 8th grade. And although they made the same amount of progress as the general population, we need to be moving them farther, faster to catch up. So they actually beat our general population by a little bit, but they didn't go far enough. And the other population was our English language learners. So what we did is we went back and we revised some things, some instructional techniques. We started a mandatory after-school tutoring program. We've hired a highly qualified English language development teacher, and we've put kids into some special classes 4 hours a day to really focus in on those kids. So, you know, we weren't happy with that result, but we've really jumped in there and tried to change that. So, the other thing that we've started to do this year, actually we started next year, but it's last year, but is to get ready for the park, the Common Core standards. The state has announced that they're piloting it this year, but they're piloting 75% of K-12 schools. So we're one of those schools, and we'll be piloting it. We've attended workshops, worked together as a staff to really make sure that our curriculum is aligned to that, and they're raising kids to the level that they need to be successful on that test as well. So lots of things happening at Gateway this year. You know, and every year at graduation, it's kind of an emotional time for us, but I wanted to show you 2 of our students that graduated last year. Believe it or not, they're pretty typical for a lot of our kids. Judith received 54 college credits while she was in high school and finished her AA this past summer. She was the first person in her family ever to attend high school, let alone college. So she's received scholarships. She's up at NAU now. We hear from her all the time, so that's good. But you know, she did all of this while both of her parents were being deported last April. So, you know, I think the resiliency of our kids and the determination, it's an inspiration for me, you know. Anthony, another one, he 63 college credits while he's in high school. It's pretty amazing. And he had 3.3 GPA. He attended ACE programs. He joined Saturday programs. And he's majoring in physiology. He wants to be a cardiologist, and he received $18,000, over $18,000 in grants from U of A, and he has a presidential scholarship there, and we keep in touch with him as well. So, and he's, again, a first-generation college student. So, you know, our kids come to us wanting this, you know, and all we have to do is give them the right support, and they become really successful. So, okay.
Well, you know, the statistic that just jumped out at me was a 98% graduation rate. In the state, it's about 72%, I think.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just amazing. That's really, that's great.
When they get to us, we don't let them go. So.
I had a quick question, Mr. President. On your teachers in terms of getting ready for Common Core Park.
Yes.
Have you done anything special or anything different that most school districts are doing in terms of training the teachers of what to expect in the classroom?
Well, I'm not exactly sure what everybody else has done, but we have
Yeah.
attended workshops. We came back 2 weeks early this year. Our teachers got together. We've aligned curriculum. We're making sure we have cross-curricular connections in all of them. So our kids are writing every single day in every single class. We're really diving in so that they're able to analyze and synthesize and justify their answers, because that's really the big part on Park, is that you can have an almost right answer as long as you're able to really analyze it and justify it. So I think we're working really hard at that, and I think it's really unusual for teachers to come back 2 weeks early before school starts. That's other school districts, it's typically 1 to 3 days before school starts.
And the reason why I asked that, Lisa, is because, scores are predicted to drop significantly this year under the new system. So
Yes.
I'm looking forward to see, how we can lead the way. The other thing is, I've been on your campus, and I really enjoyed the diversity you have on your student enrollment there. I mean, it's amazing. And you've got very enthusiastic students willing to learn, and the results are up there on the board. So good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, yes.
Can you give us an idea of the geographic area that you pull these kids from?
We do. We're a charter school, so we're open enrollment, but about 99% of them come right from the neighborhood. So this is right by the airport. 97% of our kids live at or below the poverty level, so that's about 24,000. If you make more than 24,000 for a family of 4 in a year, you're not poor, according to the federal government. So most of my kids live significantly below that level. We're about 92% Latino, 10% Black. We have actually a pretty large Somali refugee population. So about 94% of our kids are first-generation college kids.
Good.
So
We had, I think Randolph and I attended the really early childhood program that BALS is involved with.
Yes.
And they were adamant in the fact that most of their students were targeting the charter school at Gateway as their end, as far as secondary education. And that was pretty prevalent, actually, not just an off-the-cuff statement. That was there, solid. So I commend you for doing what you do. I think the fact that you've got a staff that really takes an interest in everything you do is so powerful. And I know that not all of the students have the kind of parental support we'd all like to have, but they get it done, and so that just makes it even more impressive on your staff.
You know, and now that you mention that, I do have to tell you that our parental support is amazing. We have teacher student-led conferences coming up. Last year, we had a 99% show-up rate for parents.
Wow.
I think there was a couple we missed, and but for a high school, that's pretty impressive.
It really
They
is.
come.
That's good for
not all
kindergarten.
parents- Yeah, I mean, not all parents know how to support their kids through the educational process because they may not have, been able to do it themselves. But I really do believe our parents really want the best for their kids. So it's our job to support them and to help them understand what it is they can do to support their kids through this process.
Last thing, when I walk onto that campus, you don't know that you're walking into the high school side of that campus until class changes, of course.
No, it's true.
But the fact that they do blend in so well, and the classes they take at the college level are in with college students. I mean, they're not in with just their high school group in those classes. They're in with the general population of the college.
That's right. Our freshmen and sophomore are in cohort classes, so they have all high school kids with a college professor because they're 14 and they're not quite ready to be out in the general population. But by 11th and 12th grade, they're out in their general population, so every student can focus on what it is they want to be. HVAC, pre-med, whatever it is that their interest lies, that's what we're going to help them do. So, you know, and the research on the early college shows, they call it the power of the site. And being on a college campus, being integrated into a college campus, really transforms kids. They come in as freshmen, kind of goofy 14-year-olds, and by the end of their sophomore year, they really, really want to be viewed as a college student. They want to act like it and dress like it and perform like it. And so I think actually being inside of a community college has a huge impact on our kids.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's also interesting to know one thing is that you have a triangle going on there that is doing phenomenal things. And I'm talking about Wilson School, Baltz, and your school there. And it's amazing because I don't think there's anything that compares to that in the Valley. And if people were to visit those three schools and the way they're excelling, it's just amazing. And you're doing it in a very low socioeconomic area, which is even more amazing. And you're doing it with a high ELL enrollment. So comparatively speaking to other school districts. Again, thank you for your work.
Thank you.
President Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, colleagues and guests, it gives me great pleasure to tell you a little bit about PCPA, Phoenix College Preparatory Academy, and I'm going to introduce our esteemed new principal, Keith Brown, who's going to tell you even more. PCPA was created a little over 10 years ago, and it started out as Teacher Prep High School. About 3 years ago, we converted to PCPA. We became a preparatory academy. The school has always been designed as a small school, so the capacity of the school is 100 students. We currently have about 70 students, but with the hiring of our new principal, we have great expectations. We have great expectations for growth and an opportunity to serve even more of our community. The staff and faculty worked very hard this year to achieve a B grade, so we're very proud that we have a B grade, but as you know, at PC, we never rest on our laurels, and we look forward to continuing our work so that at one point in the near future, we achieve an A grade, and we know as colleges and college students, you can all relate to the meaning of an A grade, and in terms of our school, that would be very significant. It is indeed my pleasure again to introduce our new principal, Mr. Keith Brown. He comes to us with a lot of experience as a teacher, as a coach, and as a principal. He's worked at two charter schools in the state where he obtained many successes. He helped advance student success and support the improvement in AIM scores, just as examples of the work that he has done. In addition to that, he's really passionate about working with our college community. He's passionate about building partnerships, and he's passionate about student success. So given his passion, he's a great match for PC. So let me turn it over to Keith. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, Dr. Solly. President Burke, board members, Chancellor Glasper, and CEC members and guests, thank you so much for having me. I would like to tell you a little bit about Phoenix College Preparatory Academy. We are excited about some of the things that are happening there over this past year. We're excited about some of the things that are happening in the future. I want to tell you particularly about, well, these are just the pictures coming up, okay? But those are some of our students that we are excited about, and those last two students in particular, I'd like to talk to you about Sabrina and also Brianna, who are two students that graduated with their AA degree before graduating from high school at Phoenix College Preparatory Academy a week later. We're very proud of these two girls, and they have gone on and done some great things. And we are using them as a model as we go out in the community and tell other charter schools and other district schools. We're telling them about Sabrina and Brianna, and we're having great success as people are excited about our ACE program and about what these two students did, because they'd like to see a lot of their students do some of the same things. Some of the accomplishments that we have seen over the last year is, as Dr. Solly mentioned, we became a B school, which is up significantly from what we were a year ago, and that's primarily because of some of our AIM scores. In terms of our AIM scores, we were able to see reading go up from 68% the year before up to 89% last year. We were able to see our math score, writing score went from 37% 2 years ago up to 56% last year. And then our math score went up over double from 32% up to 66%. We are excited about also some of the things our college students are doing because we have 20 of our students we have 72 students right now. 20 of them are taking college courses. They're taking 38 college courses presently, 100 level, and they're doing very well. As I've gone around to every chair in every department now I've met with, other than the math department. Many of our students are in the ACE program, and we're recruiting more, as we met with the sophomores the other day. We are still using E2020 as far as our virtual learning and hybrid. That's being successful. About 50% is direct learning, and the other is virtual learning that our students are. And then we did hire a great science teacher that we're really excited about. She comes with a lot of credentials and is doing a great job working with our students right now. We also, we're working on the ACT Explore plan and assessments to identify who needs to take that and getting them ready as well. And one of the other things that we've added, in my next slide, of course, I'll tell you, is about our Galileo scores. And we added Galileo to help us assess our students and where they are right now. This is just a slide to tell you about our AIM scores. And as I've already told you, that they went up significantly, even double in most cases in math. And of course, reading, I mean, that's pretty phenomenal when you go up to 89%. Galileo, as I mentioned, some of our strategic goals that we have in the future have to do with becoming first and foremost an A school. And there's several components of becoming an A school: graduation rates, growth with all of your students, attendance, what your bottom 25% does. You're actually graded 4 times on the bottom 25%. So all of these areas we're emphasizing with our teachers and even with our students in terms of becoming an A school. It's something that we're talking about, because I believe if you talk about it and you put it out there in front of people, you accomplish it. People will always rise to the level of expectation. And if you want to be a B school, then that might be okay with everybody else. But we're setting it to our standard of being an A school, and we're letting them know what goes into that grade. We also really concentrating on enrollment. I'm beating the bushes. Dr. Sali was at an event that we had with Imagine Charter School. We had 25 8th graders in about a week and a half ago. They were very impressed with what they saw there. We took them over to the biology lab at the college. They were very impressed, and most of those have indicated that they want to come be a part of our school. This Thursday night, I'm going over to Osborne Middle School. They have 275 8th graders. Some of those as 7th graders, they already took Algebra 1. About 30 more took geometry as 8th graders. We're selling them on the fact that this is a great place to come and go to school, because you can already start taking college courses while you're in high school. We're taking some of our teachers. We're taking some parents. We're taking 3 former students that went to Osborne, and we're taking them over there to basically start, building that partnership and that relationship. And we believe we'll have a lot of success in getting those students to our school as well. We want to create a waiting list and build these partnerships. Matter of fact, the other thing, we do have refugee, many agencies coming on October 14th. Actually 7 different representatives that are coming over to meet with me on the 14th. And we're also trying to build by having some refugee students at our school as well. We're marketing. Matter of fact, Phoenix College has helped us get some things out in some papers for free. I actually had some friends call me and said, I didn't know that you were the principal over at Phoenix College Prep Academy that saw my ugly picture in those things. But marketing, we adopted a street on Thomas between 7th Avenue and 19th Avenue. And so 4 times a year, we have to clean that up. That's, again, some marketing that we're doing for our school. As I mentioned earlier, we added Galileo. I was really surprised that we did not have Galileo assessment tool, but it allows us to drill down and see where our students are in terms of, we just took our pretest, we just got our results back, and we can basically see what strand of learning our students need. We can see what they're mastering, and we can see what they're not getting. And so we can create quizzes and tests and lessons based on the strands of learning that they're not mastering. And so we're real excited to have that in place now, and our teachers are getting trained on it. We brought in someone from the Charters Association to do some training on that. We also have applied to become a Title I school. I was surprised because 64% of our students are on free and reduced lunch, because we just took that survey. And it could be additional $22,000 worth of funds by applying to become a Title I school, which we're in the process of doing as well. We've added task stream for great lesson planning. We're basically in January at that point, we're going to require our teachers to start having their lesson plans in task stream. Many of these things, of course, Gateway has already had in place, and we're excited to add because we believe we can see a lot of those same results that they're seeing as well. In terms of some of the goals that we still have, we're providing interventions based on the Galileo results. We're after-school intervention and tutoring. We've basically divided them into quadrants, our upper 25%, the next two 25%, and our lower 25%, and created interventions based on that. We put a new schedule together. Actually, they did that before I even came, and it was aligned to the Phoenix College schedule. We have Tuesday, Thursday classes and Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes, which help accommodate college classes. We've added even more rigor in the classroom to get ready for the PARCC testing that's coming up. We have now passing grade is C or better. We're not accepting a D. And of course, we're meeting with parents to let them know and making calls. And our parent meetings are coming up in October. We're also doing a seminar with parents to talk about all these different things like C or better, the PARCC testing, Galileo, our E2020. So we're doing a training with parents coming up on October 8th and 9th. And then we increased graduation requirements of 24 credits instead of the state minimum of 22. So as I said, we believe in raising the bar and higher expectations, and that people will always rise to those levels. I learned when I was a coach that if you let them walk on the field, they'll walk on the field. But if you don't let them walk on the field, they won't walk on the field. And I believe it's the same way. If you raise the bar and the expectation, the teachers, the students, and everybody will raise to that level of expectation. Any questions?
You know, when I was at orientation, I was impressed with several things. Obviously, the two girls that you just talked about were your best salespeople and probably still are.
Yeah.
But you also, besides the academics, and I'm not sure where Gateway fits into this too, but you also offer a number of extracurricular activities that keep the students engaged on campus more. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Well, certainly we have athletics there. We have volleyball going on right now. We have both basketball, girls and guys, in the winter. And then we have co-ed soccer, which we won the championship a couple of years ago. So we have some of those things. I met with the arts and music chair, and we're looking at bringing guitar and a few other things over to our campus. So the arts, we also, through Ms. Starks, our teacher, we also offer some of the areas in the arts, ceramics, and some of the different things that are in the arts area. So we are very proud of those things as well.
Thank you.
Could you repeat those numbers on free and reduced lunch?
Well, we have 64% that have qualified for free and reduced lunch. We're looking into some areas of providing lunch next year as well. We're just doing our due diligence. We're even looking into transportation as to whether that might help enrollment, but we're just looking at some things. But Title I, of course, the first year, in terms of helping you get going, it'll provide some additional resources, and our students do need some of those resources that we could help them with some tutoring and some extra things that we believe will make a big difference.
Now, you've targeted at least, or you're focused somewhat on Osborne, which is right there on 15th Avenue in Osborne. And have you thought of, are there other schools that you've targeted or just?
Oh, we have about 15 that we've targeted. Matter of fact, I sat down the other day with a group, and I'm going out specifically to a bunch of those schools. And then I have some others that are going out to a couple schools. We're going to take Spanish speakers to a couple different schools in particular. And we're trying to go out with parents and students, myself, and this relationship with Osborne Middle School, though, is because it's the closest school to us. So that really helps with transportation and that kind of a thing. And we've been invited. The principal there was very impressed with the fact that we could offer concurrent enrollment for their students, and in most cases, of course, it's free as well.
And your instruction days, how many instruction days do you have?
We have 5 per week.
No, per year.
181, I believe.
Okay, okay, because Baltz went to 20 extra ones, and they've produced some results with it. Is there any plans to?
We will look at anything that produces results, and so if they've done that and that produces extra results, we will look at that as well.
Are you still using the online college
We're still
classes?
using E2020, yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
You know what, I'm in the process of analyzing it and getting input. I don't think that we're using it as effectively right now as we could be, and so we basically are due to pay for it again in February, and so I'm in the process. We've set November 15th as our date to get all of our research as to how we're using it and if we're going to increase it or exactly what. So we're trying to get some information more from our teachers, from our students, from parents and all that.
So what are you doing now? They have to, if they pass that, they pass the class?
No,
Do they
most
need
of
a
our
teacher
teachers
to-
are using it 50% direct learning, 50%, and then using E2020 about 50%.
And there's no room to grow more than 100?
Oh, right now, believe me, my plan is to look at that in the future, but we need to first get to capacity, which would be 100 according to our charter. But I want to get to where we have a waiting list, and then we can go back to the charter board and ask for more room. But that would be certainly my desire.
Oh, so right now the charter has you at listed?
The
100?
charter has us at 100, yes.
Just one last point. Just one last point on, I look at both charter schools, both Gateway and Phoenix College, as a way to experiment almost, and because you have a control group that's much smaller than most elementary schools or high schools, that is. But it's an excellent opportunity for the community college to lead the way in pointing out what sort of innovative ways we can use to instruct that's different from what's being done now that produces results. Because as repeated all over and over again, these two schools is that they're basically drawn from lower socioeconomic students. The kind of students that aren't supposed to succeed are succeeding. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is the college reports, PVCC's self-study progress. Dr. Dale?
President Burke, members of the board, Chancellor Glasper, CC colleagues, and guests, it is my pleasure tonight to provide a very brief update on the status of Paradise Valley Community College's preparation for our November 2014 Higher Learning Commission visitation in order to reaffirm our accreditation. As you may know, our college motto is the power of learning, and we are one of the earlier adopters of the practices of a learning-centered college. Our commitment to the power of student learning is serving as the overall theme of our self-study. Last year we were in the power on phase, and this year we have moved to the power boost phase of our self-study process. Our two major goals for this year are to, one, ensure a college-wide deep awareness, understanding, and connection to all of the HLC 5 criterion, mission, integrity, quality assessment, and planning, and to complete the first draft of our self-study report. Members of the board, you have before you a packet of material that outlines our self-study timeline, an overview of a recent college-wide update, an organizational chart for our self-study team, and a set of trading cards. Why the trading cards, you might ask? Playing off of the college's motto, the power of learning, we have adopted superheroes for each of the HLC criterion. Major mission, iron integrity, quality queen, electric evaluation, and planner patrona. As faculty and staff attend HLC information sessions, they receive trading cards, and through our self-study website engage in a number of activities to earn additional cards. Through these engaging activities, I learn about the criterion, the sub-criterion, and aspects of an effective self-study. In the spirit of learning, this is also a mnemonic strategy to help all of our employees better understand those core values for which we will be evaluated. There are approximately 70 faculty and staff hard at work finishing the process to gather evidence for our first draft, and our first draft of our report will be finalized in early spring 2014. Throughout the process, I will provide you periodic updates, and in the fall of 2014, you will be invited to the college for a full presentation of our self-study report prior to the actual visit in November. In the meantime, please take a few minutes to visit our self-study website to see what our superheroes are up to. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, I've lost my agenda. My agenda. Here it is, here it is. Okay,
Can you find the gavel?
yes, I did. The next item is the external community, the Arizona Association of District Governing Board report. Our AADGB meeting will occur this Thursday at 10 o'clock here at the district office. And we will hear from two candidates who are running for the board with the ACCT conference. One is our own esteemed Mr. Dana Sarr, and the other is Jane Strain of Cochise College. So they will both be with us to talk about their candidacy. And we will also have Ms. Diane Bosak with us, the new director of the A4C organization. The Secretary's report?
None.
Okay. ASBA report.
We finished up our law conference a few weeks ago. It was 3 or 4 days of pretty brutal information when you think about what we're up against legally. But it was some really good information, and I applaud the governing board for really taking an interest in the legal side of things and making sure that we're up on it.
But to add to that, Dana, I think it's the first time in the history of this college that we had 4 board members attend the ASBA law conference, one of the conference, and it was an awesome opportunity to meet with board members from the K-12 and superintendents and attorneys, and so I applaud my coworkers for registering for this K-12 conference.
Okay.
Just to add to that, Mr. President, a little bit, I especially enjoyed the fact that most of the workshops were pretty much, there was a lot of self-critique going on. There was honest dialogue, and teachers and administrators were putting it out on the line and exactly pointing out the deficiencies in the system. And I kind of enjoyed hearing that instead of, the dog and pony acts that we normally hear. So.
Okay. Okay, our next meeting dates and times, the next will be October 8th at 4 p.m. Here in the governing board room. It will be an agenda review. And I repeat for the audience, this is an open meeting. We will go over the agenda for the October 22nd meeting. And oftentimes in the agenda review, we go more in depth in discussion on the items that we vote on. So I encourage you to come to that meeting. Also on October 8th at 6 p.m. there will be a work session here in the governing board room. October 21 will be a capital planning retreat here in the governing board room. And then on October 22nd, we will have a regular board meeting here in the governing board room.
One question.
Yeah.
On October 21, did we change the time on that, Deborah?
Mr. President, Mr. Lum, I'm still working on that. I'm trying.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We publish all of our meetings at least 24 hours ahead of time and often several days ahead of time. So if you look on our website, you will see the time and the date for our meetings. Now the meeting is adjourned.